Have you ever, like, stopped and thought about how weird it is that we talk about perfect vision?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Even IS perfect? Like, how do our eyes even know? Anyway, today we are doing a deep dive all about emmetropia. Emmetropia, that's basically just the fancy medical term for 20/20 vision.
Yeah, exactly. Most people probably haven't heard that word before.
Probably not, no. But thankfully, we've got tons of fascinating research to share with everyone today. And we've got you, of course, to help us break it all down. We're going to be talking all about how emmetropia works, why it's even important, and what we can do to, like, keep our own eyes healthy.
Yeah. And what I think is really cool is that, I mean, like seeing is something we do constantly, right? Like every moment that we're awake. But most of us have no idea how it actually works. So hopefully the deep dive will be, kind of eye-opening, maybe even surprising people.
I love it. Eye-opening. Very good. Okay, so emmetropia, like we said, it's basically 20/20 vision, but what actually is it?
So it's not really a condition. It's more like you could call it the ideal state for your vision.
Yeah.
It's where the light enters your eye and it hits your retina perfectly. You want to think about it like a camera lens? It's like having a perfectly calibrated camera lens.
So everything's, like, in focus.
Exactly. Everything's crisp, clear.
Okay, so it's like our eyes are calibrating themselves as we grow up.
Yeah. It's called emmetropization. And it happens pretty early on for most people, like usually by the time they're toddlers. Scientists are actually still trying to like fully figure out how it works. It's really incredible how our eyes actually adjust and fine-tune themselves just from like experiencing the world.
That IS wild, I had no idea. I'm already learning stuff. And here's something else that's kind of crazy. Only about 35% of adults actually have natural 20/20 vision, like
Right.
without glasses or contacts.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. It really shows you how important it is to, take care of your eyes and get regular checkups. And that vision correction is really, really common.
Yeah, I mean, more than half of adults.
Exactly. So if you're in that group, you're definitely not alone.
That's good to know. Okay, so we've talked about what perfect vision is, but what about when it's not perfect? What's going on then?
So that's where ametropia comes in.
Ametropia, there's another one of those words.
Right. So that's basically the umbrella term for all the common vision problems that we hear about. Like if you're nearsighted or farsighted, or you have astigmatism,
Right.
those are all refractive errors,
Yeah.
which basically just means that the light isn't bending the right way when it enters your eye, and that's what makes things look blurry.
Okay, so it's like the light's not hitting the right spot anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's break those down a bit more, one at a time. First up, nearsightedness, or myopia. That's when you can see things up close, no problem, but anything far away just looks like a big blur. It's like those kids in school who would always have to squint to see the board.
Yeah, exactly. And with myopia, your genes actually make a big difference. There's this gene, PAX6, that's been linked to it.
So, like, if your parents are nearsighted.
Yeah, if your parents are nearsighted, then there's a higher chance that you might be too.
So it can be genetic.
Exactly.
Interesting. But it's not just about whether you're born with it or not, right?
Right.
It can also get worse over time.
Yeah, especially during childhood. A kid's eyes are constantly growing, along with the rest of them. And sometimes that growth can mess with how the light focuses on the retina, which leads to what we call progressive myopia.
So it can actually get worse as they grow.
Exactly.
So I guess if you notice your kid, like, holding a book right up to their face or something, or if they're complaining about headaches, those could be signs that something's up with their vision.
Yeah, for sure. That's why it's so important to catch these things early.
And then on the other side of things, we have farsightedness, or hyperopia.
Right, so that's basically the opposite of being nearsighted.
So things in the distance are clear, but anything up close is blurry.
Exactly. You might have to hold a book, like, all the way out at arm's length just to read it.
Yeah, exactly. And this one, it can be something you're born with, or it can pop up later in life, right?
That's right. And what it develops with age, we call it presbyopia, which usually starts to affect people after 45 or so.
So it's like a natural part of getting older.
Unfortunately, yeah. The lenses in our eyes, they naturally become less flexible as we age. Makes it harder to focus on things up close.
Okay, that makes sense. And last but not least, let's talk about astigmatism. This one has to do with the shape of your cornea, right? That's the clear front part of your eye.
Exactly. So ideally, your cornea is supposed to be perfectly curved, like a basketball.
Okay, like a nice smooth sphere.
Right. But with astigmatism, it's more of a football shape.
Oh, so it's kind of oblong?
Yeah, exactly. And because of that shape, the light that enters your eye gets scattered around instead of being focused on your retina, which can make your vision blurry or distorted.
And this is another one that you can be born with or develop later on.
Yep, that's right.
And I guess a lot of people probably have it and don't even realize it.
Yet sometimes it's so mild that you don't even notice it. But even mild astigmatism can cause eye strain or headaches or make it hard to see at night if it's not corrected.
So even if you think your vision is fine, it's still important to get it checked out.
Exactly. Those regular eye exams are really important.
Can't stress that enough. So we've talked about, all the ways our vision can go from perfect to a little wonky. But what does all this actually mean for, like, our everyday lives?
That is the question, isn't it? I mean, whether you've got emmetropia, need some glasses, or you're all about those contact lenses, we can all benefit from taking care of our eyes.
Totally, totally. And it's not just about seeing clearly now, it's about protecting our vision for the future, right?
Absolutely.
So where do we even start? What really stood out to you in all the research?
It's interesting because it seems obvious,
Yeah.
but the most important thing is to get your eyes checked regularly.
Yeah, get those eye exams.
And I don't just mean like a quick vision test. I mean a full exam, like a comprehensive dilated eye exam with an eye doctor.
Yeah, you gotta get up in there. Although it's funny how many people, put off going to the eye doctor.
Right.
Especially if they think their vision is fine.
And that's the thing. Eye exams aren't just about how well you can see. They can actually detect a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, they can often catch early signs of diseases like glaucoma,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
which, can lead to blindness,
Yeah.
or macular degeneration, which affects your central vision. And a lot of times you wouldn't even realize you have these things until it's too late.
That's a good point. It's like you don't wait until you have a cavity to go to the dentist, right? You go for regular checkups.
Exactly. Exactly. Prevention is key. Now, here's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. Your eye health is connected to your overall health.
Really?
Yeah, like chronic diseases.
Yeah.
If you have diabetes or high blood pressure, those things can actually impact your vision.
I never knew that.
Oh, yeah. It's all connected.
So it's not just about managing those conditions for your overall health, but also for your eyesight.
Exactly. For example, if you have diabetes and your blood sugar is high, that can actually damage the tiny blood vessels in your retina.
And that's what we need to see.
Exactly.
Wow. It's like a domino effect, right?
Yeah. You take care of one part of your body and it affects everything else.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so we're talking regular checkups, managing chronic conditions. What else? Anything we can do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think this is especially important for anyone who spends a lot of time looking at screens, which is probably most of us these days.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the 20-20-20 rule?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, but tell everyone else.
Okay, so every 20 minutes, you just take a 20-second break from your screen and focus on something that's at least 20 feet away.
Yeah, keep your eyes a break.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really simple way to avoid eye strain.
Like a little mini vacation for your eyes.
Exactly. And another thing is, make sure you have good lighting.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, if you're straining to see in dim light, it can really put a lot of stress on your eyes.
Right, like trying to read in the dark or something.
Exactly.
Not a good look. And speaking of things that are bad for your eyes...
UV protection.
The sun!
Yes. Just like you wouldn't go out in the sun without sunscreen, you shouldn't go without sunglasses.
Right.
Make sure they block 100% of UV rays.
Yeah, protect your eyes from the sun.
Because over time, that exposure can lead to cataracts or macular degeneration, all kinds of problems.
It's easy to forget that your eyes need sun protection too.
It is. And if you're someone who plays a lot of sports or you work outside, protective eyewear is also super important.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer, but you see people all the time playing basketball or doing yard work with no eye protection.
Oh, I know it.
It's scary.
It is scary. All fun and games until someone gets hit in the eye. A good pair of safety glasses or goggles can make all the difference.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One of the ophthalmologists we talked to actually told us about this patient he had who was gardening, and he got a corneal abrasion, which is a serious eye injury.
Oh, no.
And it ended up needing surgery.
All from gardening.
All from gardening,
Yeah.
just because he didn't want to wear safety glasses.
Wow, talk about a cautionary tale. Okay, so it sounds like we're talking regular eye exams, managing our health, not smoking,
Right.
giving our eyes a break from screens, protecting them from the sun, being smart about protective eyewear. That's a lot.
It is. It sounds like a lot. But these are all small changes that can really make a big difference in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it really makes you think,
Yeah.
We really do take our vision for granted.
For sure. And, all of our sources really stressed how important it is to see a doctor immediately
Mm.
if you ever notice any sudden changes in your vision.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Like, if you start seeing double or you get flashes of light or halos,
Yeah, yeah.
don't mess around with that. Go straight to the doctor.
Exactly. It could be something serious like a retinal detachment or even a stroke.
Oh, wow.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, much better. So, as we wrap up our deep dive here, what are some of the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think we've said it a bunch, but regular eye exams are so important.
So important.
Even if you think your vision is perfect, you got to get them checked. It's our best bet for catching things early and preventing vision loss in the future.
Absolutely. And I think it's really interesting how, we learned that vision problems are actually super common.
Yeah.
So if you do need glasses or contacts, you are definitely not alone.
Not at all. And the good news is there's so much you can do on your own to keep your eyes healthy. We talked about wearing sunglasses, wearing protective eyewear, managing any health conditions you might have, giving your eyes a break from screens, making sure you have enough light.
It's those everyday things that can make a big difference.
Exactly. It's all about building those healthy habits.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that brings us to the end of another deep dive. Today we got to explore the fascinating world of emmetropia, that perfect 20/20 vision, and it turns out it's actually not as common as we might think. But whether you have it or not, the most important thing is taking care of those precious eyes. So until next time, stay curious, keep those peepers healthy, and remember, a world seen clearly is a world experienced to the fullest.